folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy. We are going to get to the map in a moment, but I did want to let everybody know that earlier today on DriveThruRPG, we released a new sale for our 50 maps that we have up right now. It's technically 49 maps and one bundle. As you can see, if you come down here, every one of our items is on sale right now. We got to 50, so I figured it was a good time to try and get our name out a little bit more. You can see on DriveThruRPG we have a pretty simple style of trying to make sure people know what they're about to get. And then when you go into one of the products, you see one of the sample maps. It doesn't show you the variants or anything like that, but it will show you something that you can start with. So that is something fun that you can begin looking at if you want. And then we'll keep on throwing more maps up there. We have, this is map 70, I believe, and then we have 16 more planned over the next few months, and those are just the ones that are coming from me. Matt is still waiting to get the tool set for the beta, and once he has that, I have a feeling that he's going to get a lot more involved here, and he'll start to throw some of his maps in as well. But the nice thing is I've been keeping at a pretty good pace, and 70 maps in March after we were trying to wrap up 50 in by the end of December. It's pretty darn good. So we're definitely moseying along. One of our good friends, Kevin Steel Tip, he is also currently working on maps. He's got his first one that he's working on tonight. I don't think he's streaming it. I think he's still getting used to Inkarnate as a tool set and everything like that. But he's one of the people that does have the beta, because he has been working on his world map for a long time, and it's all starting to come together for him. So I'm very excited for what our little group is going to be able to pull off in the next couple of weeks and months. And I think we're on track to do a volume 2 of 50 maps of Tellest, so we'll keep things going. What we're going to do is, I guess, briefly review some of the changes that I made off stream. By the time we finished yesterday, we had kind of done a little bit of the roughing of the edges of the path, and we had a little bit of grass that we put on the area. Things that we've added since then, I did a little bit more pushing around just because I wanted to make it look a little less uniform. So you can see there's some cutting in here, there's some cutting in down here, up here. And I did another pass with the grass over here on the southeast, because this is the area leading away from Argos. I kind of wanted it to look a little browner, so I didn't pass over it another time. But on the left side, you can see it looks a little bit more green, a little bit more lush. I didn't want it to be too crazy. I love you, Pickledorf. And then the other thing that we did was we added a couple of flowers here and there. We already had the kind of flower bushes that we were putting in the around the parapets of this gatehouse, and I put a couple more flowers around the road, in certain places on here. We're going to do a couple more things of those. I think what we'll do is maybe a statue that kind of looks like a shrine over here on this side, so that we have one more point of interest. I put the catapults on top of the gatehouse, and then we have our little spyglass here, because again, the whole kind of point of this gatehouse is to make sure that any enemies from the neighboring city of Paratus doesn't come through here and march an army right through these gates. And then one last thing that we did, well, I didn't mention, I actually put the roof on this gatehouse, but you need something to get onto the roof, so that's going to be one of the things that we're doing on today's maps session. Is we're going to be putting a little path from down below up to the top of this, so we'll have stairs that are kind of leading up. And I heard Luna snorkeling back there. And then one other thing that I did, I figured I would just put a little backpack back here. I imagine we have, one of the guards who's stationed here comes down, comes out, sits down on the log, plays a flute or a lute or something like that, and then goes back in. And then one other thing before we actually get moving, you can see I did a little bit of a trodden path. So every time somebody's going into these, these watchtowers, they're going the same route. So I wanted to make it look like there was kind of a muddy trail that was put into play there. So let's get skedaddling. We did the purple flower, but let's Let's do a blue flower or pink flower. If we end up having a little bit of an abundance of time today, we'll go into the Sinkhole 1 South like overworld map, because I do think that it's important that we wrap that one up too. I need to put that one layer down. Okay, and we're going to do kind of like a mix of these ones too, so you'll have them along the road as well. I don't want to put them too close to the pink ones. Keep it away from the flower there, or the fruit there rather. Let's do something there along the cliff edge. Do something right here on the corner. I like to kind of layer it underneath things in a lot of cases, but in this case, we'll have it right alongside the rock. We'll do something along the cliff edge there. Let's do another one on the path over here. So maybe like right there is a good spot. Little guy there, that needs to be under the tree, so I'll bring that down a layer. And just throw one up here too. And that one, I'm actually surprised that that one came up positioned right. Aha, it wasn't. So good thing that I played around with that to make sure it looked appropriate. All right, and then let's go to our last set of flowers. We'll go to, did we do the pink ones? We did the pink ones. We need to do the yellow ones. So do maybe a couple of yellers over here, but I want them to appear underneath the bushes. And that's tricky too. Let's do this. Bump that up. Go to the gatehouse itself. Or will we? Bump that up. Didn't lose too much by doing that. We did move this one. So we'll grab that. We'll grab the spyglass. Bump those both up. Let's see, did we lose anything else? I don't believe so. And then the trick then is to bump the bushes up above. What is going on here? Why do you not want to play nice? Oh, yeller flower. Yeah, you're... Oh, you know what it is? That was perfectly okay. It's just... doesn't need to be there. So one is fine. One doesn't go over the path. Okay, and then we're going to do one more yeller flower. I said yeller flower, not rock. Okay, and we're going to put that over here. Same general concept. We just want it to kind of fill out that area there. And we'll do something over here too. Let's make sure that that rock doesn't get lost in all this. So we'll move that and this one. Cool, cool. The flower one more time. I don't know why it shrinks down, but I don't need it to do that. I do need you to be a little bit lower though. There we go. Put one up here. Okay, Luna. Oh, we got a side dog. I'll do a little flower here. That's okay because that's under the bushes. Let's do along the road there. Do right there on the corner. Let's do the old double over here. Alright, and we're going to do a little bit more flocking with some rocks. So let's grab that guy here and around the road, since we kind of dialed some of those back. We'll put a couple of chunks next to the road. Because if carriages are rolling by and things like that, you are going to see some movement here and there. Some of it gets trodden into the dirt, some of it comes loose, and that's what we're kind of doing here. do the statue next. It's going to be pretty simple, I think. We might even do 2. Come on. Darn computer is acting up again. Oh. Okay. So we have these kind of like elven doors, the wall statues, and I kind of like those. I don't know if we have too many other wall statues. We got the temple one over here. Let's do a step further and say wall. Alright, so we just have the elven and the temple ones. Let's see what we get out of the temple ones, if we can do anything. I've used these kind of things before, but I don't really know what it looks like, so we're going to zoom in a little bit. That is just straight up death, so we don't want that. Got that one, and then we've got this one here. You know what? I kind of like the idea of the book, because when we were writing the book that this was taking place in, the big like MacGuffin artifact was in fact a book, so it kind of makes sense for it to be something like this. Now, I hope that I'm going to be able to pull this off and make it look right, because at some point what we're going to end up doing is it'll be a variant, but it'll be one layer down from here. We're going to see a different kind of wall, because it's not going to need these Merlins and Krenels. So I think that this will be an okay look. All right, so we've got 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, and then this is kind of, this needs to be maybe kind of like right there. So we'll do that there, and do another one over here. So right around there, I think looks good. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep, that looks good. All right, so now we have another little piece of the puzzle that's laid out there. Let's move on to the next piece, which is going to be the stairs leading up out of the this area. So the trick here is when you're entering the Gatehouse towers, there's going to be a wall over here, so it doesn't have, you know, like a passage to come over here. You're going to have the big gates that open up probably in this direction, to be perfectly honest, because we have the little part of this cliff that would kind of prevent it from opening this way. So as the gate opens up, this poor flower is going to get smushed. You know what? It's probably a portcullis, not a gate. Anyway, so there is no passage through. It's only above. The tower itself, on both sides, has a wall in this area here. So that's easy enough to kind of put together. But what you're going to have is, as you're walking... I thought you were summoned, Luna. When you're walking into the entrance, I want it to be that whoever's here can just keep walking. So we're going to have stairs that kind of start here. There's going to be a landing. It's going to come over here. There's going to be a landing. It's going to come over here. There's going to be a landing. The problem is I need to make sure that I'm not overdoing it as far as you know, how tall this is going to be. So I'm going to try and think... I think typically when you're doing stairs, let's do this real quick. So we did a while back, I think, the stone that we kind of used as our ruler. And what we'll do is that same kind of concept. So where did we have that darn thing? So we've got the standing stones. I don't really need that. Let's do like a wall. We've got concrete wall cap. Here we go. It was, I think, the concrete wall is what we used. So we actually had this over here to help us identify the width of the path. We're not going to go too crazy with this. We're going to shrink this guy down until it's about the size of one of these squares. And the issue is I need to make it go 5 across because I want these to each be essentially a step of 5. So let's actually, we'll take one more piece as we're building this out. So we're just going to use the straight up slate stairs. And I think the problem is it might be, there might be too many for what I'm trying to do. Luna already snuck downstairs to have her tantrum. Let's see. Something like that ought to do, to be perfectly honest. In which case, I don't really need this anymore. So those I probably do not need. All right. So again, we're just kind of laying these things on top to conceptualize what's happening. But you figure down here is going to be kind of the first steps. I can do this even better. I don't think that they have a snap tool yet for this stuff, but they are talking about releasing something along those lines. Let's do this real quick. We're going to grab these slate stairs, and then we're going to get a landing. All right, so we're going to use this. I do need to bulk it up a little bit, and I'll probably have to do the same for the stairs. Because the idea is that when you get to the top of this landing, I'm just really trying to make it look right. You turn, and you got more steps that go up. More steps that go up. More steps that go up. I think if I was planning this out right, there should be another landing at that point. So let's grab this, piece that down, and let's grab these guys real quick and see if I'm accurate or not. Oh, missing one set of stairs. Okay, so we'll grab that and gotta twist it a little bit more because it's not a straight 90-degree angle. And it's not quite gonna do it because the shape up top is a little bit narrower. So I'll have to kind of tweak some things, but it's a good start. So let's do, I want to try and manipulate it from this angle. Let's do this. We're going to get rid of those stairs, move that over, scooch that up so it's not hanging off on the bottom there. I think those ones ought to be okay. And one more time, let's grab these things. And again, we're not even really going to see this as far as, you know, what's above the tower. That looks really nice though, comparatively, you know, compared to what we were doing a few moments ago. So if we do something like that, that's a nice fit. Let's grab the stairs again. So we'll grab that set of 5. And then if we rotate it this way, and we'll probably clean this up too. I might even keep these and hide them and then just drop them into place. And there's some mess that we have to clean up here and there, but it really is not all that bad, all things considered. So I think what we'll do is that kind of little progression there is the right way to have things. And then when you're turning up this way, this will be where the stairs are. So let's scooch these down a little bit so that they have a nicer fit. I think that looks good. And then we're going to do one more set. Oh, here. And technically we'll have two. So the idea that I have is, let's do a clone real quick. So we're going to do, let's save it as is right now, because this will be a good spot. So, what? Whatever. The Watcher's Gatehouse. And then we're going to do another one that's the Watcher's Gatehouse bottom floor or something like that. Or inside. And I was also thinking a lot of the inspiration from like the angle of the gatehouse and everything came from a couple of the broken ones that I saw. So I think what I might do is another variant of this map would be having like some battle damage or something up here. I don't know if this line type has a ruined version, but I'm sure with enough work we could make it look like it was battle damaged. All right, so we're gonna do a clone of this called Inside, and then we're gonna step outside and go back into the regular one. So the idea that I've got is we're gonna hide all the stuff that we just worked on, or delete it, doesn't really matter. Probably just hide it, because we're going to end up having to mirror it on the other side. Anyways, let's do that before we make any moves. So let's go into the gatehouse one more time. That would have been a good spot for the sponsor. All right, so we're going to grab everything that we just put in there. I think we should be okay to mirror it over here. Nope, that ain't working. Let's see, can we do it this way? Can we get away with doing it that way? I think we can. No, not really, because this is where the entrance is going to be, and the stairs would be right there in... Well, no, not really, because it would be coming up over top. Let me think. Over here, it's okay, because that you don't really have to worry about. Let's see. We might just honestly keep it the same composition. If you just have it like that, then you don't have to worry about anything crazy. And again, there's going to be a wall there, so you're coming in and you're doing the same thing on both sides. And that might be easier for whatever soldiers to remember and everything. All right, so that is a good way to kind of conceptualize this. The only problem that I'm just noticing is we didn't have this in place for the other one. So I am going to save it one more time, but we'll do it after we hide all these other things. So let me do this real quick. Those ones there, I'm going to lock. Well, we're going to lock them all, really, but... Okay. Did I seriously just miss all those ones? You jerk. Alright, so we're going to lock those ones too. But we're going to... those ones away. So this is supposed to be coming up out of the tower. And the trick that I've got in mind for that is we're going to go to our color and we're going to just do a rectangle. I thought that this had a snap before, and I'm not seeing a snap anymore, and that makes me a little bit nervous. I was like 99% sure that we had that. So the idea is that we would do something like that for this to come out of. And we're not actually going to grab that. We're going to... See, that's the problem. Again, like it had the snap before, and it doesn't anymore. It's very bothersome. I do know that they are working on some other snap stuff. I just don't think that it's currently being used. Because we got the shape tool and the line tool, but not the snap. We might take a little break at some point and see if we can identify if they already updated that. Like if it's already on, you know, it's already ready for us, or if there's something else going on. So I'm trying to get the angle of this right. It's not perfect no matter what, unfortunately. That's nice. We should be able to do that. And come down a little bit more. You know what? We don't even need to do that. Come back here. Go to the steps. We're going to extend it to about here. And then we'll apply it. And then down here, that first set that we have, we should be able to dial back the opacity of that, and then I think we wouldn't even have this piece there at all. So we would have to let me think here. That actually might be okay. So we've got that one at 50, that one at 25. Let's do it like this instead. Why do you do this? We'll have that at 66, and we'll have that one a little brighter at 33. It's going to do the same thing. I knew it. There you go. So I think that kind of does the trick. It might make more sense not to have that little edge. And we can kind of fix that real quick just by scooching it over. That looks a little bit better. I kind of liked it over. Oh, I'm such a pain. All right, let's get rid of that black spot real quick. And what we'll do is once more, we're going to go in here. Just get a square kind of look, and then we'll kind of shift it into place. I kind of want to leave a little bit of that area. Okay, that should be good. Yeah, I think that'll look better. So that one's okay. This one is going to be 0.66, and then the landing will make 0.33. I think that does the trick. If we were to put the opacity back there, we would just darken those. Well, inside, these wouldn't be dark, they would be brighter. But yeah, I think that's a nice little setup that we have there. And then what we just have to do is match it on the other side. So down here, let's lock these ones too. Lock and hide. Okay, and do the, still have it up there to use? No, but that's okay. Okay, again, we're just going to do that real quick. And We did 33. So grab that, put that in place. Throw one more there. Apply it there. Good little setup there. And then this one we left so that we could see what we were working with. So again, this one's going to be 0.66. This one's going to be 0.33. Perfect. All right, so we've got our steps up from the inside of the tower. They go into, hey, I've got a catapult that I can work with here. Catapult really is nothing without a set of ammunition, so let's maybe do something with that. So let's go to our siege set, because I think that's where the catapult pulls from. We got weapons and tools, but I think it's up a little higher. We've got siege. So let's see if there are any objects that we would use. Well, they unfortunately don't have any rocks or anything like that. We've got castle walls. It might be that I use those castle walls, and that's what's causing the Merlins. In which case, yeah, no damage. I was hoping for it, but no damage. All right, let's see if we can't find some rocks that we like the ammo. Hammocks. Trying to see if I can't find something that's a little bit more rounded that we can use. We got the boulders. I don't think that we're going to be able to tweak these in a way that's appropriate for what we want to do. But we're going to try real quick to transform this so that maybe the height is a little bit more in line with the width. I actually don't hate it. I mean, it would have to be like this kind of rock the entire time. But it honestly doesn't look terrible. So let me put that in the basket. And it really does work. That is a nice fit. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the random stamp. And we're going to keep on... Oh, you jerk. I said, do not do that. I'm going to keep on grabbing that one. No random. But we are going to randomize the angle. And then I'll throw a couple of these down and then kind of figure out what I'm going to do with positioning. Because we definitely need to put it someplace that's not just here. And same thing over on the other side. I'm kind of like imagining like a shelf or something like that you would put these on. Let's see. When we were in the siege set, I don't believe that I saw anything that I would like. Right. I mean, we've got... What do we got here? This is a mangonel, which looks like it's probably some kind of trebuchet or something. We've got battering rams. We've got ballistas. But no shelf that I would use for ammunition. Come on. And I'm not going to use a shelf like that, but maybe... Honestly, this doesn't look terrible. It kind of looks like almost like a hammock or something. So I might end up using this. Let's put it over here. So put it up under here. And let's move some of those rocks into place. You guys need to be on top, but not over top of those. Actually, can we move everything down? That doesn't even really make sense anyway. Alright, we're fine the way it is. Scooch some of these guys down. And actually, just for fun, maybe we have one of them already in the basket over here. Duplicate that over here, but possibly have it in a different location. What the heck? Why does it keep on shrinking those things? Alright, so we've got this, and we're just going to keep it the same size, and throw that over here. Maybe scooch it a tiny bit more that way. And this one, we won't have it in the basket. We'll have it so that this one was unloaded properly. Still might have too many boulders. Put that one on top. Put that one on top. And then get rid of these guys. So let's see real quick before we save what points of interest we have. So we've got the statues, we've got the spyglass, we've got the catapults, we've got the little area for the person to kind of rest and relax. We've got the gatehouse itself. I honestly think that we can do this. Hey, it brought my Blue Yeti back. All I have to be is patient. Misery says, huzzah, and I agree, huzzah. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, there's not a lot of clean gatehouses that you see out there on the internet when you're looking for, you know, gatehouse battle maps. So this is, you know, maybe not the first of its kind, but it's a rare commodity. So when this map does end up on DriveThruRPG and on our Patreon, it is going to be something that people can definitely use. And then, you know, the variants will have, we'll give it a little bit more mileage. So we're going to hit save, and I think I've got a little bit more juice in the tank, fuel in the tank, juice in the box. I don't know. We'll head over to the overworld sinkhole map just to do a little bit more planning, perhaps, and kind of figure out what we're doing there. I think a little bit of what we're going to end up doing is kind of the work that we just did on this one, which was kind of making a dense forest. So let's head out of this real quick, and we'll head into the Sinkhole 1 South map. I'm going to real quick put on the Parblo glove, because we are going to probably not do a lot of actual work, but we will do kind of like some pathing work. So if we come into the line tool, we're going to keep to the color, and we're going to do, where is, so this is the interesting part. I don't think, is there a regular path? Yeah, the path tool is still there. I lied to myself. Alright, we are going to kind of use this line here to indicate, I think what we're going to do is 2 southern entrances into the kind of thicker area of the forest here. So what we're doing there is kind of indicating where kind of like the denser parts of the trees are going to be, because what I'd really like is for anybody who's coming through to be able to come through here or to come through here. And typically when we're making these maps, we're making it in a way that we're trying to let you connect into different ways, but I kind of want this to be like the sinkhole is the center of the map. So if we came up here, we would do the same thing. There's a lot of kind of like light density trees here and there, because we want it to be that, you know, if you're running through this forest, it's very easy to come and, you know, misstep and fall down into the sinkhole. But further down, you know, the trees should be a little bit bunchier and stuff like that. I think up here everything is technically good to go, so we don't have to go too crazy with any of this stuff. Let us, as part of our goal today, let's do a resize where we just grab the 20 by 40 that we're going to be using down here. I think probably there, if I had to guess. Almost nailed it. Okay, 40 by 20, that's good, that's good. All right, so everything is right there. So we're going to confirm that. We're going to leave the trees and stuff there because we can actually just grab some of them if we need them. And you'll notice this does not have a lot of variety when it comes to the trees. There's not a lot of, we don't have a lot of evergreens and deciduous trees. Well, we do have deciduous trees, but not the kind that they throw in there with that label. So once we get this, we'll kind of move some trees and bushes from the top and move them down, because we won't have lost them by checking that box that we did. All right, so I am happy with the results. We are going to come up here and give it the old save. Calling it 1 south is perfectly fine. So we've got 2 of our points of interest, but we still do need 2 others. And we'll have to figure out like what we're doing about that. But I think part of what we can do is kind of scooch some of these around. We're going to leave a little bit of that open over here because I do want people to see that the area behind the rock is kind of gray. And then you've got another one over here, which obviously right now you can see the text that says what you're going to experience as you come that way. We're going to do something similar over here where we kind of frame it out. And let's start to kind of grab our stuff from up there. We don't need the cliffs, so if we do see that, I think that might have been knocked to the background layer, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about that. But let's start to shift some of these guys. One of the other things that we can do, again, we don't have a huge amount of variety here or anything like that, but what we can do is, number one, that tree is taller, so that has to be up top. We can change the kind of color patterns. So right now, what we can do is maybe make it a little bit more saturated and maybe a little bit more green. So we'll do like a 10 there, and then we'll kind of keep shifting things around as we go. So let's grab some other ones from up here. This big guy over here. Again, we want that one to be a little bit higher. Maybe what we'll do is, instead of having it kind of making it inaccessible. Maybe we'll just delete that one, scooch this one under here, and that way it'll frame it out a little differently, but it'll still frame it out in a way. So let's grab this one, we'll scooch that one down here, scooch this one up there maybe. Grab that one, because the same way that we have these guys here, we also want it to be kind of like directing you those ways. So we've got this one over here too, where it's leading you into this section of the forest. So let's see, we've got this little guy here. We'll scooch that one down, scooch this one over. These ones up here we can't really touch because those are the ones that are already connecting into that northern area. Let's do something like that. Bush underneath. And I think what we'll do maybe is kind of make this area somewhere that you can come in through as well. And we kind of have to, by nature, have some kind of opening over here. So maybe what we do is we fill that gap in there a little bit. So we'll grab another tree. That one's very similar. But again, what we can do is maybe make it a little bit bigger. Throw it up higher and mess with the color of it a little bit. So it looks a little bit different. There's enough of a difference in the way that these are presented as where it has its own kind of feeling. And one of the things that we did in our sanctuary, our statuary chessboard and our the map that we just did, the Watcher's Gatehouse, was we used the other kind of brushes on the ground to kind of make it look a little bit different. So we'll do that as well. But let's, while we're still here, we'll keep on grabbing things from up here and moving them into this spot. Okay, we got some bushes up here. We've got kind of like permutations of the stuff. So what we'll do is, as we're grabbing them, we'll make some adjustments. Got that little bit there, and then what we'll do for this one actually is go for something a little bit more brown, and we'll desaturate a little bit so it looks a little bit more weathered. Big tree over here. Sorry to put it over there, and same thing, we're going to tweak some stuff. So have that one be a lighter green. Grab that one. That one fits under there pretty nice. Let's shrink it down a little bit and rotate it just a smidge. In a lot of these cases, I like to keep on grabbing and reusing and stuff like that. Let's do that. Shrink that one down, turn it a little bit. Let's make this one a dead one. Maybe not that dead. A little later. Let's see, what else do we got up here? Still a decent chunk of stuff. Let's make it so that these ones here are locked in and we don't have to worry about accidentally grabbing them. You know what we don't have a lot of is a dead tree. Oof. That's not what I wanted. It's only when I'm searching. So the good news is most of this stuff is going to be done probably off stream. So no one's going to have to go crazy about these things. Let's do... Scooch that over. This doesn't have to be quite as tall as it is. So scooch that there. And do we want to just have it that way? And we just got to get a stump. We are going to do for this tree the same thing that I've been doing, where we kind of desaturate it and make it look like it's not going to be around much longer. The only problem is we lose a little bit when we're messing with the hue, because we lose the color a little bit. This one, we'll just dial back that. Shrink that guy down a little bit too. Doink. Pretty good. Like I said, we're probably going to finish a lot of this up outside of the stream, just because so much of it is already in play. The only other thing is we definitely need to figure out 2 more points of interest. So we've got the collapsible kind of piece right here, which is another way of the game master maybe getting the party into the sinkhole if they don't want to climb down, and they have a story element that kind of either requires them going down there, or the game master has something fun that they want to kind of introduce them to down there. Something like this gives them an opportunity to kind of go against what they might want to do, but it still brings them there. A lot of people don't want to railroad their players or anything like that, but this is kind of a clever way to do that in a way that's rewarding to them, assuming the game master is trying to play nice. So we've got that. We've got the little warning here in blood that says stay out or whatever, or stay away. And then we've got to figure out what our 2 other things are, but at least for now, I don't have those ideas on the top of my head. Let's do one more save since we're at 60, and while that's working, we'll go over to our show closing. So on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest goodness out there in the world. So Tellest.com, the website, is probably your first stop. That's going to be a place that brings you to all the things that we do, including the books, the maps, Rihanna's wands, everything like that. But there's other things that we're working on all the time, and we are kind of behind on the website. So as we release them, we do kind of put them on the sidebars and things like that. Anyway, the 2 premium places that you want to go out there on the internet to find our stuff is patreon.com/Tellest, where you find maps like this and art posts that we do 2 days a week typically, and Tellest.Etsy.com, where you can find the physical releases that we work on. So those can be big battle maps on neoprene mats, the art book, the Quantum Quest game, some of our books are on there, the bookmarks, stickers, and I'm drawing a blank. There's like posters. They're on there as well. And you can also see Rihanna's awesome one-of-a-kind handcrafted, yes, Jockey Milk, but not really, her handcrafted one-of-a-kind magic wands. And you can see the videos for those at tiktok.com/@weirdwitchwands. And the other TikTok channel that you should look at is for our doggies. That is tiktok.com/@talesofTellest. And the last 2 places that I'll bring your attention to are the places where you can find these videos online, whether I'm talking Tellest or I'm making maps. And that is youtube.com/@worldoftellest. We usually do Talking Tellest on Mondays, and for YouTube, we drop Talking Tellest on Thursdays, and we kind of drop the Making Maps features whenever we have time. And then twitch.tv/thattellestguy is where you can find those videos live. We usually do Talking Tellest on Mondays, and we do Making Maps on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then every now and then we'll do That's Entertainment, which you see up there in the top right, where we'll play a game and stream that as well. But that is going to wrap us up for today. We almost went the full hour, which is kind of rare these days. I feel like the spring forward is giving me a little bit more pep in my step. But anyway, that'll wrap us up for the day, and I will see you probably next week at this point. But in the meantime, I miss you. Thank you.